This is gonna be a commentary of the Portal Divinity Chapter 1 TAS I made. I'm just gonna go over it kind of quickly, but also explain all the little small details that go unnoticed during a TAS. I'm just gonna assume that you have prior speedrun knowledge, like portal bumps and reportals and strafing, just all that easy stuff. I can explain all the hard stuff during the video. Let's get to it. I'm just gonna skip a little bit here. So at the beginning, we grab the cube, jump over the bed. I do let go of the cube for a couple ticks and then open the door with it. And I go through the door. I throw the cube over to the window. And then I crouch to the window because, yep. So here I actually jump off the ramp here. So I get a slip boost, which gives me a lot of speed. And then what TAS does is just, I look up and I throw the cube at myself. So that the cube kind of like angles in a way to where it's like sloped, and if it's sloped like this and the player jumps up, then the player will like get speed off the cube, so you'll get more speed from the cube toss, and then I pick up the cube back and I actually do it again here. So I toss it at myself, and this is a different version. This is where if you throw the cube at yourself, you kind of get more speed because the cube has momentum. And so if you have momentum and the cube bonks into you with momentum, then you get more momentum. It makes sense. And then here I throw it in a way where the cube angles slightly, so I can actually jump off of it and angle towards the door. And I do another ceiling bonk and I get through the door. And here I make a segment because all of that took like so long to do. And getting a consistent playback because the game's RNG is not consistent took forever. So I needed to make a segment. So what I do here is I throw the cube, or I drop the cube in a way where it gets angled like that. And then I hit the trigger that closes the door, which actually gets the cube stuck in the door. And when the cube is stuck in the door, it actually gets like a random amount of velocity that is completely undeterministic, just not at all deterministic. It's a random velocity. It's completely RNG. That's why nobody does it. But, you know, it's a TAS, so I kind of have to. I also use the chair so I can jump onto the cube. And then you can actually see the jerk there. That's like the cube like giving me speed, but the game kind of like denying it. But then in the second one, I actually do get the speed. When I do get that speed, I actually get launched into the air because the cube's angled. So I do get launched at an angle. And I also bounce off this pipe that was on the wall. Let me go back a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so I bounce off the pipe and it's connected to the wall. So I actually bounce off of it in a way where I actually get more momentum towards the door, which worked out completely on accident. But, you know, this is what happened. So here, in most speedruns, players grab the chair almost immediately, but I don't, because I want to grab this chair that is standing right up for later. Here, I actually don't jump off the ledge. I actually do an edge bug, which is what happens when you actually land on the edge of like a brush, maybe the last pixel of it, the last unit, and you don't lose any speed. Technically, you're landing on the ground, but you don't lose any speed from being on the ground. You're technically midair, but also on the ground at the same time. So you don't lose any speed. And then I land on this slope here to give me a slope boost. And then I land directly on the stairs and jump up. And then I throw the chair down so that it bounces back up so that I can jump off the chair and then pick it back up so I can jump over cleanly. And then I land on these rocks, which are sloped, because they're not like actual, like, it's not actual rock collision. It's just like a brush that's just angled. So I actually land on it, and I do another bonk so that I get more speed. And then I throw it on the ground, because if I kept jumping in this direction, I would have hit my, like, stub my toes on the stairs here. So I actually throw the chair down so that I can land on the chair and then jump through the door and then re-grabbing the chair. Actually, this chair re-grab becomes important because there is a fizzler through this door. And for some reason, if you throw like an object or something through a fizzler and you're within it, you actually get like a random speed boost. That is consistent mostly in TAS, but in human runs they're not really that consistent. We like to call that pseudo RNG, so PRNG. But in TAS it's consistent. I don't know why it gives you a boost. I think it just has something to do with the prop being inside you. So, but yeah, we do get that boost, and the boost actually can make you go upwards. So we actually have enough height to jump right over the railing here and land in the trigger. That starts the elevator. There is no trigger at the end of the hallway. The thing that triggers the transition is the elevator, so we can technically do whatever we want here. And here I just crouch in the middle for fun. Skipped a little too far ahead. Yeah. So these little like sides have collision, so you can jump off it and then jump on it around the railing. Yeah, sorry, the quality's kind of butts. I don't know why. So here I make a portal specifically here. And the reason why I do that is so that I can get a re-portal. And then I can land on the button. So I actually land on the button. But the thing that you do not see is that since the button's collision is... I'm trying to skip forward, but I can't. There we go. The button's collision is like this. And I use this little lip here to stop all my speed directly. So I don't have to take a bunch of time stopping and then turning around. I can just stop immediately on the button so that I can turn around immediately. Or I can step on the button for a few ticks or frames and then go through, turn around immediately, and then go back through. And I do another re-portal to go through the door cleanly. And we don't do another boost here, but what we do is we jump off the debris that is elevated on the floor to just jump over the railing. And we hit the trigger as fast as possible. We're doing one of those starts again. So this... Oh wait, no, this is... Never mind. That's the next map. This is just some normal portal movement. I actually just... This was really precise. This shot is actually really hard to do. But I do a portal stand. Kind of. I just go through the portal and that's another one. And then I do a re-portal at a perfect time here. So that I have enough speed to just kind of cross this gap. We do this in human runs, just not as precise as TAS does.
Luckily. You know, these fizzlers were actually
So this is traversal. This is a very, very known speedrun trick in this map, because you kind of just jump around the pillar onto the other side, because this is a solid wall. And then I do the normal puzzle solving, and then I grab the glass. The glass is very important. The glass has collision, so you can actually do a boost with the glass, with a ceiling or a head bonk. And then I do another head bonk here, not to get speed, because I don't get any speed from it. What I do is I throw it out my head to cancel my jump, because if I were to jump here again, I would have bonked my head on this. But I make myself bonk on the glass so that I can go down and then jump on. Yep, jump over the railing using the debris. You can actually jump on these mushrooms here, which is kind of funny. Alright,
Such a
this is gonna be a
shame
really, really
ability is
hard
in
map.
this
I'm just gonna let you watch for a second.
day.
So, how the freak did I
Ability
get
is
so
in
much
this.
velocity? Well, for some reason, if you... So, from here to here, these 2 frames, I'm actually in the portal, and then I step down and snap onto the floor below me. What happens here is that that step has velocity. And so if you take a step, which is like maybe like an 18 unit step, you don't really have like a velocity, but like if you think about it, you kind of do. So, and I'm not sure how the math works, but if you take like a 16 or 17 unit step and then you jump on the tick after you step down, or on the same tick that you step down, you actually that step actually converts into velocity, and then you can keep that velocity stored until you enter a portal again. And it's always the velocity is always downwards. So however the portal's placed, whichever the bottom of the portal is, that's where you'll go. So I actually go through the portal, and then that velocity is transferred, and like the velocity is like, I don't know, used. I can't think of the word. And then I also do a reportal so that I can go over this wall or this gap. And then I actually, on accident, I actually slope off this debris here because it's not like, that's not going to stop me. It's just like an angled brush. So I actually slope off of it because I don't have enough time to stop and jump. So I actually slope off of it, and then I hit the trigger, and then since I'm so fast I won't be able to slow down, I actually just keep the
All
hops,
the more
and I'm able to just
reason
like, kind of
do
land
what
here.
we're doing.
So it all works out perfectly.
You're actually flying through these.
So this is really just like simple. It's just simple bunny hopping and then doing a
The
reportal.
last chamber in this track.
Really nothing special, jumping on the debris.
Then we can.
So I'm actually doing something special here. This jump actually plays a role in this next map. For some reason, I don't know why, and I don't think the devs even know why, but there's like, if you stand still, the game will try to boost you upwards when you get in this map. But the problem is the trigger to move the elevator is on, or the platform is on the platform. So if we move up, we won't be able to hit the trigger until we land on the ground. What this jump does is, and the map actually transitions when my velocity is at its most. I have the most velocity downwards from a jump, and that'll actually come into play here. It won't cancel it out completely, but it'll subtract the upwards boost with how much velocity I have, and I'll be able to land on the platform sooner. And then here I just kind of do some funny shenanigans with the elevator while we wait.
A few more portals.
So there is a death trigger at the ground here. So if I jump too early, I'll be hit by the trigger, which is why I wait so long to jump.
And this should be
Let me do some bunny hops. For some reason, this door doesn't have collision. Fine with me. Makes bunny hopping really fun. This door has collision now, so we have to jump through the door, and then I place a portal at the top here, just barely. I jump through, and then I land on the floor of the portal, so I can jump again. And then I place a portal here on this ramp, and I do a portal bump through the wall. And I go back through, and I do a bunch of portal stands. There is a trigger here, so I have to put a portal here. I can't just put a portal here just yet. I actually have to put a portal here and hit a trigger that opens the door over here. So I actually have to hit the trigger, and I hit it here, and then I place a portal on the wall where I was mentioning earlier. I actually place it right here. So I place a portal there, and then I do a reportal out of this door. The reason why I don't just place a portal on the wall over here is because the door still has collision. And I'm able to just get a bunch of speed first before I go through the door. And the door loses collision about here. So this is when the door loses collision, and I actually enter the world portal here, which is why it looks kind of weird. There's a world portal right here. It doesn't really look that well in renders, but... And then the way this ending works is that there is a giant transition trigger here on a timer. So once I hit it, it'll activate a timer when the map will end. So this elevator ride platform bed thing doesn't really has an influence on the end. You could technically hit the trigger and then just B-hop backwards, and just the map will end by itself because you already hit the trigger. So, and entering this late or early doesn't have an effect on how the map ends.
Nearly so bad as the rest. The location would make for some terrible erosion.